listening to me.
Started.
He wasn't interested in what I wanted. He was thinking about himself. And I would say that's probably 75% or 60 to 70% of the salespeople are like that. And if you just alone listen to the person, that'll set you apart. And I think a part of it, the not listening, is you're afraid. You're afraid if you give the person a couple minutes to speak, they're not going to want to get together with you, or they're not going to want to make the sale, because I've been there. You're like, well, no, I can't let them talk because they'll say no. But if you stop and you listen, and I've had people tell me this, you're a good listener. And but I've had to acquire that. I've had to hone that, because I didn't used to be. I used to just, you get nervous and you talk and you talk and you talk, and the old saying, don't talk your way out of the sale. You never heard of anybody listening their way out of a sale. I kind of like that little, I heard somebody say that, or I read that somewhere. Nobody's ever listened their way out of a sale. They've always talked their way out of it. Where things are kind of on the border and you're thinking, well, gosh, if I just, and you just say one or two wrong things, and man, it's off, and you're done, and you just ruined it. And I know I've done that before. But what I do is when I call up and I get a hold of the person I'm supposed to be talking to, I'm really brief. I try to be really sensitive and listen to their voice. If they sound like they're really in a big hurry, you want to just cut to the chase. If they have, if they don't sound like that, I'll say something like, well, usually I'll say, well, hey, how you doing? How about this is Dana with XYZ company. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Oh, you have a good holiday? Yeah, well, I won't take much of your time, but I just wanted to let you know that wanted to get together with you for a few minutes and talk a little more about your company and see where your needs lie, and then show you how we could help you out. What works better for you, Monday or Wednesday? And you just it's short and sweet and to the point. And I think another pitfall of salespeople is we give them too much information and we tell them too much. I know I've done that before. They want to know all this stuff. They're asking you all these questions. Well, that's good because they're buying questions. But you're not a telemarketer. And if you fall into that and start giving them too much information, they have no reason to meet with you because they have everything they need, and they figure, I guess I'm just not interested because you told me everything I need to know. So,
it's called throwing up all over.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a visual.
Yeah, really, thanks. I'm glad I'm not eating right now.
Remember Jeffrey Gitomer?
Oh, yes, he's awesome. He is so awesome.
People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's exactly right. And I'm working with an agency right now, and one of the ladies, she's an insurance agent, she's licensed, and she just has this hang up about salespeople. She doesn't like that word. And I said, well, you just got to change your attitude, because what you're doing is there's a stigma is attached to sales. You think of the typical used car salesman. You go on the lot and they're on you, and they're like, I don't know, you just can feel the pressure, and nobody likes that. Nobody does. But the truth of the matter is we're all in sales, whether we want to admit it or not. Because number one, we have a business, and the only way we're going to stay in business is if we sell our service or product. If we don't, we're going to go under.
And it's not just that. If you're in a marriage, and if you're in a relationship, if you have children,
Is it
you're
10
in sales.
already?
Well, it's still recording.
You're trying to sell your ideas in your way, and yeah, that's true. I never really thought about it like that. That's true.
Even if you're an employee, you're in sales. You're
Well,
selling.
sure.
You're selling
Sure.
your boss that you're the best person for the job.
Well, and you're selling whatever you have to make money, and you've got to sell whatever you've got there to make money. But it's the mindset, the shift in mindset from I'm selling, because in that aspect I think it's us against them. I'm going to sell them. You're going to do something to them, and instead take the attitude of I'm going to work with them. And see, like with my business card, there's a reason on the back of it. I put nobody probably ever reads the back of it. I think that was kind of a waste of money, but we're here to build a partnership that leads to your
I don't know
success.
where's the back.
Yeah, see, I know. I noticed nobody looks at it, so, but that's what I like to look at it, the way I like to look at it is Oh, thank you. I'm sure I look lovely there, with rubbing my face. I'm here to help people, and that's what we should look at it like. You're here because that person has a need. Your job is to find out what that need is.
And serve them.
But they have to know that's a need too, because if you see the need and they don't, it's not gonna work. So, I think, and a big thing is, self-serving language. And I think Jeffrey Gitomer said this too. He is really awesome if you guys ever get a book. Jeffrey Gitomer, Gitomer. He just says it like, he's gotta be from the East Coast.
Yeah, you,
Where is he from, New York or something, or New Jersey or something?
from Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. He just says it like it is, and he's straightforward. And I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of it I do. A lot of it is just really good.
I'm on my way home. Sorry. Forgot to turn my phone off.
Oh, that's all right.
Just let Jim turn down the music in the back.
Yeah, really, no kidding. Where was I now? Oh, self-serving verbiage. That's another pitfall of salespeople, and we'll go in there and we'll call up and say, hey, I'm with XYZ company, we just wanna show you how we work and everything that we, me, I. And the person's like, okay, you're like everybody else.
Why would you?
Yeah, why do I care? And what I do is I'll call them and I'll say, hey, I'm with XYZ company, and, we just wanna get together and visit with you for a few minutes about your company and your needs and discuss how we can meet those needs. Just something to the effect of that. That puts a whole different spin on it,
It's like with our business, we're so enamored, or whatever the word you want to use, about our equipment, because we think it's fantastic, and we're amazed with all the PSI and how hot it can get, and the extraction process, and all the solutions, how they work together and what they do, and it's like, and we want to tell everybody, well, they don't care. They want to know what the results are going to be for them. They just want to see, and we were doing a job, and Wade was just talking to the guy, and he's a businessman and has a lot of money. We want his contract, but he turns to Wade, he says, those are just numbers to me. You're going to get that out of the
Can you do a
conversation?"
good job? Yeah.
Wade says, you bet I can. He says, okay, he's a really nice guy, really wonderful to know him, but yeah, we have read and learned that, people don't want to know those things about you.
There's a sales story, I can't remember who tells it, about the little old lady who needed a heater for her living room. And she goes into the hardware store and she starts talking to this young salesperson, and he doesn't really ask her any questions. But he starts explaining how this one will produce so many BTUs and it uses this many pellets and it does this and it does this and it does this. And finally she says, that's all fine and good, but there's one question you didn't answer. Will it keep an old lady warm?
That's it. That's all she cared about.
Translation. That's talking over the technical, and I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna mention any names, but this guy is a really neat, sharp, dynamic guy. But I went to an event where he spoke at, but he talks way too fast, and I talk fast, but my gosh, my brain can't keep up with that. He talked way too fast, and the terms, he was talking in the language, I don't know what he was speaking, but it just wasn't English to me part of the time. And I think a lot of times we'll do stuff like that. We don't even know, because we know the technical terminology and we just assume they know, and then you talk over them and then you leave them behind, and it makes them feel stupid, because that's what I felt like. I felt stupid. This guy may be smart. I think he probably has an awesome company. He's dynamic. He's great. But the problem is, can I communicate with him? It just felt like that's kind of the way it was going. So I think we just have to just get down on their level.